Okay, welcome back. And this is going to be really quick and really easy. So, the human being is a creature that has reproductive organs. Let's put this right here and over here. So, we have male and female, or what you perceive as male and female. Now, I'm going to basically make this seem just basic. We're not going to get into any, made in God's image or 47 different kinds of identities. We're not dealing with any of that. What we're dealing with right now is what people perceive to be male or female. So the male usually has what people perceive for it to be male, masculine energy, okay? A masculine expression of source. Whatever. We can go really deep or really simple. We're going really simple. There's usually more body hair. There's a penis. And the body is kind of more rugged looking. I don't want to say more muscular, but there's usually more, the generic stereotypical male usually has more body mass. And the general stereotypical female has usually seen it with longer scalp hair, a more curvy, slender body, and no facial hair. Now, if you know anything about biology, you know that body hair and facial hair have nothing to do with your gender. Nothing. It's hormones that cause that and hair follicles, which you can remove. It doesn't change your expression. Now, we're also not talking about you, the consciousness that is you, because your consciousness is you regardless of your genitalia. Okay? Okay. So we have what society, a modern society, or whatever thinks is male and female. Well, what else is the difference? The male has a penis and testicles. The female has a vagina and ovaries. So we can get really into detail with that, but we're not going to because you know the basics. Now, what exactly is the difference between a penis and a vagina? If you kind of just dig into the science of it, into the actual biology of it, you'll recognize immediately just with a simple Google search that a penis is just a enlarged external vagina with a labia and all the bits. It's the same part, just one chromosome different that created the penis instead of the vagina. It's one like gene sequence or something. Google it. It's really simple. So now to give you an example, let's say we have Betty White, okay, and we all assume Betty White has a vagina. Okay? Now let's say we put a penis on Betty White instead of a vagina. Does Betty White become Bob White? No, Betty White is still Betty White, right? She is still her. It's just the vehicle her consciousness is expressing itself through has a penis instead of a vagina, but she's still a woman, a feminine expression of consciousness. Now, what if she had a beard? Would that make her a man then? Would her personality change? Would her mannerisms, her behavior, who she is become different based on genitalia? She'd still be her. Though if you have more testosterone in the system, you're usually a little more aggressive, whereas estrogen is a little more fluid and emotional, which isn't good or bad. They can both be positive and negative. So we know that changing the genitals doesn't change what the consciousness is. Okay? So we're going to put one little doodle here of a person, and we're going to call this consciousness. That's you on the inside. Okay? So we're going to put this in a little bubble. That's you. Now, it doesn't matter what body you're in. You could be a tree and still have the same consciousness that you are. The tree wouldn't be male or female, and you'd still be you. But because we're people, humans, on a planet living in a society, we've come up with a whole bunch of bullshit regarding genitals and body hair and body mass and mannerisms, and that's about it. The only other thing is, I mean, if you want to really get down to the most basic basics of what the difference is between a man and a woman physically, one carries the seed, like it has the seed and the seed dispenser, okay? The other absorbs the seed and creates from that seed within itself a replica of the two. That's the only difference. One puts the seed in the other creates one or the other. Now, if you want to get even more technical with it, there's something called parthenogenesis. That means a quote unquote female, the biological expression, the biological human being that has ovaries and a canal to those ovaries instead of testicles and a shaft that releases what's in the testicles. The female has the testicles on the inside and they create sperm, semen, as well as carrying the sperm and semen within the egg. That's parthenogenesis. The female by herself, by itself, themselves, the one with the ovaries on the inside, can self-replicate. So the male expression is a whole other topic we can get into some other time. But right now, for the basics, there is no difference other than the mannerisms of the soul, the consciousness, that activates specific mannerisms and behaviors through the genetic code and through chromosomes. So if somebody is doing lots of weightlifting, they're going to have a bigger body, regardless of having a penis or a vagina. You know, the only, I mean, if you really put a human being in a generic human body, okay, no like total short hair, no facial hair, everything shaved. There's only scalp hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, pubic hair, flat chest, and gender neutral genitals. There's no genitals. It's like an angel's body or whatever, okay? That being that inhabits the body that doesn't have genitals, if it continues to intend that it grow a beard, its body will continue to create more testosterone and activate specific genes. If it continues to imagine and dream that it has bigger breasts, it will grow bigger breasts. The human body is like a switchboard of genetics. So the male and female is, the male is pretty much for entertainment purposes. The female can self-replicate and she can replicate with a partner. That's why societies, like countries and stuff before, were matriarchal. It's only been recently that they've been patriarchal. So, and this has nothing to do with feminism or anything like that. This is the basics of the animal that inhabits planet Earth that we've all come up to an agreement with, that God has imagined is, male and female. One has the penis, one has the vagina. The basic difference is one has the baby on the inside, the other has the baby as ingredients within a goo that it puts onto the egg. There's really no other difference. I mean, the most Your consciousness can be like the most masculine, stereotypical, you know, man, macho man you can imagine. And if somebody puts a vagina on that person, they're not going to suddenly become a woman. They're still going to be a macho dude, and they're just going to call their vagina something else. They're not going to call it something that makes them feel feminized, you know? And if there's like a total feminine female energy, like the epitome of divine feminine, like 99% divine feminine, 1% divine masculine energy, if that person suddenly, expresses itself on earth and has a penis instead of a vagina and boobs, there's is she going to be any less divine feminine? No, because it's just a sexual reproductive organ. It doesn't change who you are as consciousness. So if you're consciousness and you're coming into this world and you're thinking, oh, I'm a female, but I have a penis. Well, guess what? You're a female with a penis. Who cares? If you come into the world and you're like, you have a vagina and you're like, but I'm a man. Okay, well, you're a man that has a vagina instead of a penis. You can bear the child instead of, putting the child in someone else. It's just about reproduction. It's not about, who's going to get paid more or who's getting paid less or what society's doing. No, that's too complicated. The basics of the flesh and bones light being, the pixelated carbon creature, silica creature, whatever you want to perceive your human being as, the Anthropos 11, 10, whichever part of it you're at, 12, 13, there's reproductive organs. They're for sexual pleasure. It doesn't make you a man or a woman. There are people who are called hermaphrodites. They have both genitals. They have male and female genitals, and they can dress as male, stereotypical male one day, stereotypical female is the next. It doesn't change who the consciousness is. It's just the expression within the vehicle you're inhabiting. And then if you want to bring it down into society in 3D matrix terms, it's reproductive organs. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change what you're doing. Yeah, if you're, a feminine person and you're covered in body hair and, you barely have boobs and you've had problems down there with your vagina and stuff, or maybe you're really feminine and you have a penis. It really doesn't change who you are. It's just another appendage on your body. Your body could be a little more comfortable to you if you adjusted to enjoy what you have, you know, as silly as that sounds, as arrogant and bad as that sounds, if you can just change your perception slightly and kind of don't fight the dysphoria. If you have dysphoria, don't fight it. Simply neutralize it. Some people are dysphoric about their genitals or facial hair or body hair or lack or size of breasts. And it's more of a consciousness issue of accepting itself regardless of the vehicle than it is attempting to get the vehicle to be picture perfect. You know what I mean? I grew up with dysphoria, and it took me a long time to realize that it's just a biological organ. It doesn't make me any less of who I am, whether, regardless of what's in my pants or if I have cleavage or not. I'm still me. And, parents of children that are transgender or transitioning or intersex, it's your kids are still yours. They're still your kids. They're not suddenly different people just because they're looking at their genitals and saying, hey, this doesn't match my idea of who I am, because society's saying that it's certain things. But what if there's a woman that likes having a beard? What if there's a man that likes having a vagina? What if there's a man that has bigger boobs than, Dolly Parton? Does he suddenly become a man or a woman? I mean, does he suddenly become a woman in society's terms because he has huge boobs? I mean, if we put double D's on Arnold Schwarzenegger, is he suddenly going to be like Arnoldina Schwarzenegger, the mom? No, if that consciousness is alive and expressing itself in a certain way, then that's what we refer to that consciousness. We respect that aspect of the I am. We don't say, oh, in your pants you have a dangling appendage or you have a pathway towards eggs in there, so you're either going to be pink or blue. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. It's like looking at a tree and saying, oh, this tree bears fruit, so it's female, and this tree has pollen, so it's male. Well, but most trees have flowers, and other trees that don't have flowers have seeds, and other trees that don't have seeds have like some other, method of reproducing themselves. What's their gender? Why is it we're only applying it to what we can see in regards to genitals? You know what I mean? There is a distinct difference between masculine and feminine energy, but the difference we perceive as human beings on Earth as male and female is skewed by what we purchase. There's no difference between if you have a dangly bit between your legs or if you have a little cave in there. It's like the wands and the cups in tarot. Sometimes people say the cups are female. Not really. I mean, if you want to be gender specific on tarot, then the pentacles are more female than anything else. They create more stable and on the earth. The wands would be fire, which would be masculine. Cups would be gender fluid. And air would be consciousness itself, thoughts. It doesn't have a gender. So we can break it down and put a male, female on everything. But does it change who you are? If I change your name from whatever it is to, let's say someone's name is Jenny and I change it to Bob, is, previously known as Jenny going to suddenly start acting more masculine and like a man and dressing like Bob the lumberjack or something? No. So why is there so much focus on the genitals and how you're supposed to be expressing yourself? I mean, you can do whatever you want in your life, right? Harm none, do as you will. But in regards to all the confusion and all the harm and trauma that occurs within a penis and a vagina, I mean, really? Like, if I go put a tutu on a giant gorilla, is it going to change the behavior or the personality or the being in that body that's dreaming and thinking and feeling? It might irritate it, but it's not going to fundamentally change it as a expression of God, right? I mean, we can go on and on about this, but the basics are the basics. There is no real difference. You either carry the child or you put the child in the person that carries the child. So if you're a man and you're, walking around and you're being all masculine and muscular and you're like macho dude and you put your goatee and your cowboy hat and stuff, that guy isn't going to give a rat's toot if he has a vagina or a penis. It's not going to make him any less of a man. If anything, he's going to find some new ways to work that, the vagina as a masculine man. Masculine energy expressing in a body that has feminine features. What are you going to do with it? Change your perception. So let's say I don't know, I can give you a million examples, but you get it, right? It's just an appendage. It's either on the outside because you don't want to carry the child, so you pick the model of the car or the vehicle that you're in that has more sexual promiscuity at a fundamental, basic animal level. The male, quote unquote, male, is designed for sexual intercourse, whereas the the womb the womb bearer is designed to self-replicate and create. It's not really designed to go out and fornicate every other person because it has the capacity to replicate immediately after one session of intercourse. Even if she thinks about it hard enough, she can get herself pregnant. The basic fundamental female human being. That's why there's the masculine, the male expression, which doesn't carry the child. Otherwise, there would be an entire planet of people just popping pregnant. I can't do this. This is too silly. Like, this is, you guys, human society, people of Earth, come on. It's just a piece of meat in the pants, or it's a piece of meat in the body. Like, you can't, I mean, you can get as silly as you want with it, but really, stop suffering over this. I can't. I can't. This is too common sensey. Oh my god. Okay, think about your grandma for a second. Let's put a giant, like giant dong, like a 20-inch dong on your grandma. Whatever color you want it to be. Now, is your grandma suddenly your grandpa? No, it's still your grandma. Now, if your grandma comes out and tells you, look at this giant dog I have, I want to be called your grandpa now, and I'm going to start living my life as Grandpa Joe, then you respect that. And you say, okay, Grandpa Joe, that's a huge dog. But her grandma, Grandma Jolene wants to run around with that giant dog and still be Grandma Jolene. But then by all means, you let her. Then that's your grandma, and she has a giant dog. I hope, like, you show this video to anybody that ever gives you any absurdity regarding gender. I don't have any editing skills to like put cute images and fun things popping up on here, but it would be pretty funny. So, yeah, just shut it down, It's just genitals. I mean, if we really want to get absurd with human basics, we can even put it into fingers. Like, you have 10 fingers. If you have 11, are you still human? Because a generic human has 10 fingers. So if you have 11, does that make you something other than a generic human? No. If in your being, you know yourself to be more feminine in expression, and your body is doing something it's not doing right, then check internally. Regardless, male, female, I'm like all over the place right now. Just know yourself. Your body isn't you. Your body is something you're using to recognize who you are. And it doesn't mean it's going to reflect who you are perfectly. It means it's going to reflect things you didn't even know about yourself and things you didn't even know you enjoyed about yourself. God loves you. So if you're in a body where you're thinking, oh, I'm a woman, but I have a penis and I can't live my life as a woman until I have surgery. Yes, you can. Having that body organ changed isn't going to change who you are. Sex might be different. Your facial features or your body features might change slightly, or greatly, I don't know. But really, you're still you. And the more you stop fighting who you are now, the quicker your body will shift and adjust and reharmonize to who you are. Remember, you create your reality. So if you're thinking that you look like a man and you're a woman, well, your body's going to then give you the appearance of looking like a man. If you have a false perception that a penis makes a man and you see a penis down your pants, then you're kind of telling yourself, you're a man. You have to know who you are, and you have to be strong in who you are and recognize that the world is going to tell you a lot of really fucked up things about who you're supposed to be and who they think, everybody is. But you're who you are, and you get to live this life as yourself. And if there's nobody like you, or if, there's no example for you to follow, then be that example. Become that person that sets the standard. Be that chick with a dick that has a beard and a flat chest, but you're still a woman. Be that dude who has a vagina and boobs and a beard. Whatever. It's your body, it's your life. Fucking break the meta, break the mold, break the routine of who you are supposed to be. That the only person imposing it on you is you. People can't literally come up to you and dress you unless you give them permission. They just, it's physically impossible for one person unless you're a parent and a child, and even sometimes that's impossible, to physically force someone to wear something and then to spend an entire day wearing it. You have to, at some point, agree to it. So wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. I mean, don't be reckless. And please give the suffering a break. You don't need to suffer because of your genitals. It's like being dysphoric over your arms being too big or too skinny. It's just how you're perceiving it, and those perceptions are due to energetic blockages and imbalances within you that you have built up over time within the energetic system of the human vessel, which has activated genomes and chromosomes which are presenting themselves to you as bodily features, symptoms, sicknesses, aging, and decay, and dysphoria, because your body is showing you the state of mind and emotions that are within you. So if you're really whole and complete in yourself and you know yourself to be a woman, then your body is going to have what you perceive to be a female body. But if you're fighting something internally, your body is going to reflect what you're fighting back at you. And the more you release that resistance to who you truly are, and your body is irrelevant to who you are, it's your tool, it's your gift, it's your blessing, it is your inner child grown up. Take care of it, love it, stop trying to change it. Improve it, bestow blessings upon it, but don't judge it as if it's broken. You're not broken. You're not ugly. You're not unwanted. You're not stinky. You're not, ugly. You're not these terrible words you tell yourself. And I don't care who you are. I do it. Everybody does it. And I hope it stops. Your genitals don't make you who you are. Your name doesn't make you who you are. Your hair color doesn't make you who you are. Your job doesn't make you who you are. Your money doesn't make you who you are. You make all those things. And if all those things aren't being reflected back at you in their most perfect way, it's because you're not allowing yourself to experience that perfect bliss. Why? I don't know. That's your reason. But if your human body is exhibiting symptoms and situations that are not favorable, if it's exhibiting dis-ease or dysphoria, the opposite of euphoria, then there is something internal within you that you need to adjust. And it's something to do with your emotions, your memories, your cellular memory, and the thoughts you repeat within your body. Okay? There's a reason why people call the body a prison, because it immediately responds to your thoughts. It's like a matrix that adjusts and responds to you. You think you're in a matrix in the external world, but the matrix you're in is the body. You are the matrix, the mother in the body, creating the body that you are going to take with you into every other lifetime. The image of you. You are made in God's image. God made you infinite and eternal. You have dominion over everything. It says it in every holy book. You are not defined by a penis or a vagina. They are your expressions. So stop being a big baby about it. You are source incarnate. Enjoy the genitals respectively, responsibly, adultly, with consent and what is that? Fun. Just be a good human being. Your genitals don't matter unless you're trying to make a baby. And if you're just focusing your consciousness's expression through a physical vessel by the very basic fundamentals of child creation, then there's something very, very, very important that you need to be paying attention to in your mind and your thoughts. Okay? You are who you are. And I love you.